PlayStation has the Concord tax. Xbox has the South of Midnight tax, which is honestly a lot way more pathetic in my opinion. But don't worry, Xbox fans, don't worry. Because obviously, the fact that your fridge is an Xbox, the fact that your microwave is an Xbox, the fact that your cum sock is an Xbox makes up for this, obviously. Oh yeah, this is gonna make all the Xbox fanboys already go into the comments and write very great comments. I truly don't understand. How do Xbox fanboys even exist? Like, what's the point of you?
I am sorry, I'm going to be putting a little bit of a damper on your day if you haven't heard the news yet. If you're already not doing absolutely excellent, might be making things a little bit worse. Xbox, massive price hikes. Now, given the small amount of distribution partners and the amount of major platform holders we have in the games industry, which is really the big three, technically four if you include Steam as a digital platform, it was
Yeah, technically four if you include the vast majority owner of everything games related. Technically.
always a guarantee that with these tariffs, the prices would be passed on to the consumer. But these price hikes are still out of this world no matter where I think you stand on the matter. And we're going to go through all the information.
This has nothing to do with tariffs. That's probably like I could insert any random words there and it would probably have been good, but he somehow chose the only option that actually doesn't fit.
Today on what's going on with Xbox, and I'll deliver some thoughts after I lay out the news. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here and you're into what's going on with Xbox, we talk about a lot, and certainly defining Duke will be very interesting this week. Consider subscribing. So, the information comes from the official Xbox support page, where they write pricing updates announced May 1st, 2025. As of May 1st, we have adjusted recommended retailer pricing for our consoles and controllers worldwide. We also expect to adjust the pricing of some of our new first-party games starting this holiday season to $80. Those titles purchased on the Xbox Store have the benefit of Xbox Play Anywhere, allowing players to buy once and play on console and PC at no additional cost. We understand that these...
I wonder honestly if the game price hike is, in Xbox's situation, more about trying to push the Game Pass even more. And if this works, I think they're gonna increase the price of the Game Pass again, because why honestly not? It's a failing product anyway, so you gotta do what you gotta do, honestly. But this all comes now crashing down with the GTA 6 $100 potential price point. PlayStation already Mario Karted it at $80, and I mean, it's time to literally not own a single game, boys. Okay, I'm just gonna. It is you know what's up. You know it's time to not buy a single game.
These changes are challenging, and they were made with careful consideration given market conditions and the rising cost of development. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play games across any screen and ensuring value for Xbox players. Now, over on IGN, they took the pricing charts and compared and contrasted for the US. Xbox Series S at 512 gigabytes is no longer a $300 system. It is up to $379. And Xbox Series S with 1 terabyte of memory space is now up to $430. The Xbox Series X digital version is up to $549, or really $550. Xbox Series X up $100 from...
Wait. Aren't these Xboxes like a year, 2, or maybe 3 years old at this point? They're actually price increasing stuff that's 3 years old? That is insane. That is insane. Absolutely insane.
From its $500 launch price, brand new, to $600. Xbox Series X 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is now up to $730, making the PS5 Pro look a little cheap in comparison, which in turn is kind of competing with the PS5 Pro price tag. Okay.
Nothing Xbox is competing with PlayStation.
Okay. Xbox wireless controllers, the core, your standard one, $65. The colored ones, $70. You have the special edition wireless.
Be honest, if you're buying a colored controller, wireless controller, because you're that kind of a fucking boomer, okay, listen, You deserve to pay all $200 here, okay? Xbox should milk you for all that is worth because fuck.
Wireless controllers, $80. Limited edition wireless controllers, $90, up from $80. The Elite Series 2 controllers, the core version, goes up to $100.
Okay, we got it. We got it. Everything's roughly worth 10% more, and in some situations 20% more. We got it.
30. The real sticker shock here, I think, is the Xbox Series X base pricing and the $80 games on top of it. We'll talk about that. Still some more information to go over. Will the price of existing games change? You know, like your Avowed or whatever. No, this will affect some new first-party.
Will Avowed's pricing change? Oh, the horror. Man, who cares about Avowed? No one played it.
Games starting this holiday season. So your Call of Duty, what else is coming out at the end of this year? Outer Worlds 2. These are probably going to be your $80 video games from Xbox. Gears of War E-Day, whether that's early 26 or late 25. And then they also say which games are increasing in price. We will adjust the pricing of some of our new first-party games starting this holiday season to $80. This update will apply to physical and digital versions. That said, different games and expansions will continue to be offered at a variety of price points. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. Again, of course, with everything going on with the global economy, none of this is generally surprising that it's happening. And even the price tags was that immediate sticker shock when I'm like, okay, like this sucks. And I guess I kind of get it. But at the same time, you look at Xbox's situation and
what do you get? That the Xbox is slowly dying, they failed? I mean, I'm sorry, but Xbox already came out and said, yeah, we lost the PlayStation. It is what it be. Well, what else there is to get, honestly, here, right?
it's competition. You're seeing where they're willing to bite the bullet and where they're trying to inch things forward here. And really assessing Xbox as a brand is, I think, required to fully unpack just how crazy of a decision this is. Because Xbox is doing this while their hardware is selling historically bad. Now, even in a pretty successful quarter that they just reported the earnings results for yesterday, Xbox content services drive 5% overall Microsoft gaming revenue growth, but the hardware sales were down 6%. And you look at that single percentage dip, not the end of the world, right? But when you start to look at Xbox sales figures,
I think this is incredible cope trying to say that Xbox is doing fine and don't worry about it. Again, Xbox literally said that they don't, that they're done. They're done trying to fight the console war, okay? They just want to sell games and try to get people on Game Pass because that's also failing. And they don't know what else to honestly do. This is the I think this is, by the way, the big problem when you have a product like Game Pass and things like that, and you try to popularize it because the investors demand that you make more money out of it. I think it's just a thing that, right? I think it's just honestly a thing that is a ticking time bomb that's gonna explode. PlayStation will also suffer the consequences of having whatever the fuck that they are supposed to be having here. I think all of it's happening. You cannot make games for something that puts the games out for free, and because you need to spend money on multiple games. You can't make one new game for your Game Pass every year. Otherwise, people are not gonna buy it. You need a new game pretty much every month almost, okay? And a new big game like every 3 months or so. And the chances that people are gonna buy the Game Pass because they honestly want to play so many different games, close to zero. It's a losing battle. It's pointless. It's just slowly going to drive you into, well, destruction.
Overall, 9 Meters has a great write-up here. Xbox sales hit rock bottom after historical 2024 decline. They write, Xbox faces major challenges as its console sales hit record lows in 2024, and it's not looking any better for 25. The gaming giant sold an estimated 2.7 million units in the U.S. market during 24.
Oh boy, yeah. Are they gonna compare how bad that is compared to PlayStation? Because it's bad.
Which, just for context, by the way, this is their biggest market. This is their best market. This is where they sell the most. So 2.7 million units in the US market, making it the worst full year performance in Xbox history. The numbers in Europe are staggeringly worse, with an estimated 290,000 units sold over the year.
No one is talking about. No one is talking bad about any console in Europe. Okay, people kind of have consoles, but the consoles that I'm pretty sure America. You can speak your mind on this, Americans. Leave in the comments down below. I'm actually interested to hear how it is for you. But on average, if in Europe someone owns a console, it's kind of just to have something to fuck around and do when friends are over, and that's it. Otherwise, there's no point in owning a console. No one's gonna game on a console. It's just not interesting. It's bad. And the things that you have on a console are like Mario parties and well, you can't have Mario Party on Xbox, which I guess is pretty much PG for having a social life on a console. But what do you even have on an Xbox that's interesting, right? You have probably like 10-year-old games at this point because you're just playing them with friends to have fun for a little bit. That's it. That's it. And you don't need to buy a new console to do that. Fuck, you don't even need to buy new games. There's just no point. It's completely worthless. But I think that's how it works in Europe. I don't know. Maybe in America it's different. But, who honestly knows, right?
When you add up the two, you get just under 3 million units sold, which paints a very worrying picture for Microsoft's hardware in their gaming division. Those numbers are down from 2023, which was also a tough year, when Xbox sold 3.8 million units in the US and 550,000 in Europe for a combined 4.35 million. And you might remember during that stretch of time for Xbox, this is where they were actually having exclusives that they could market. Some of them didn't pan out well, of course, like Redfall. You had games like Hi-Fi Rush, Shadow Drop,
Oh, right. Redfall, that's also a tax.
amazing video game. You had Starfield, which
Wait, what did he say?
Hi-Fi Rush, Shadow Drop, amazing video game.
Oh yeah, Hi-Fi Rush. Again, can we please stop talking about Hi-Fi Rush? I'm tired of explaining why Hi-Fi Rush success literally means nothing to Xbox and why it failed actually, even though it's a commercial success.
You had Starfield, which I know the post-launch is a whole different conversation, but pre-launch was building up a lot of hype and was then labeled as like the biggest day one Game Pass game Xbox had ever had.
Yeah, but all of that literally doesn't matter. Nice face, by the way, Matty. 10 out of 10. But sucking like a grandma, eh? Anyway, Starfield probably did actually sell game passes. That 100% probably happened, right? But I mean, admittedly, it's like okay, you need to understand how monumental Starfield was in the grand scheme of things because that was Bethesda's first actual non Skyrim re-release for the 50th time in 20 fucking years. Okay, and then we all were disappointed that that game was already 20 years outdated when it came out. That was Starfield. That was a monumental thing in gaming, okay? Easily top 10 event in a decade, honestly, in gaming. And that's it. That's its impact. It maybe sold what? A million game passes? A million fucking game passes that probably half of which got deactivated after a fucking week are not really anything to brag about.
It just really pushed a lot of sales. It seemed like things were trending in the right direction. Even then, it's considered a tough year. They say this is a nearly 10% drop year over year in units sold, leading to Microsoft reporting a 42% drop in Xbox hardware revenue for the quarter ending in June 2024 in recent months.
Ooh.
So they're doing this price increase where the crazy reality, right, is that if you bought an Xbox Series X at launch, $500, that was the cheapest time to buy it. That was outside of like holiday sales that happened afterwards, that was the cheapest time to buy it. It is now a $600 unit. It's a 5-year-old machine that is $100 more to purchase.
Wait, 5 years old and now $100 more to purchase. Are you kidding me? And by the way, this probably has literally nothing to do with tariffs. Because it's illegal to put a price hike things because of tariffs or whatnot if you have already bought things for the previous price before the tariffs were in place. So that's illegal. So this price hike is just something that has nothing to do with any of it. Xbox is just greedy, I guess. I have no idea.
Wherever you are, that is awful. Wherever you stand, that sucks. And they're doing this at the time where they're having a historical decline in hardware.
Wait a minute, what is this video? Bro is like literally running away, shooting, and then he comes to this ledge and he's like, "Dad!" Like, what do you mean? How did you miss the fact that there's a goddamn... How did you not know? How did you not figure it out? Were the clues not there? Like, are you an idiot?
Time where they're having a historical decline in hardware. And that's because when they ripped out the Band-Aid with their multi-platform push, everyone was asking the same question. Why own an Xbox? And I think they've provided some decent reasons. Xbox Play Anywhere...
Well, because it's your fridge. Is that decent reason? Because I have not heard a single listen, I have not heard a single reason why the fuck would you want to buy an Xbox, considering Xbox literally said we lost the PlayStation, that's it. We're shutting this shit down. We're now Netflix. I have not heard a single reason why anyone should ever at this point buy an Xbox. Honestly, it seems like just a waste of money.
Anywhere has been a bit of a game changer for me. Just being able to play on the backbone with my phone and then play it on my PC and then play it on my console. That kind of ecosystem, it sounds gimmicky at first, but it really is a game changer to be able to pick up and literally play anywhere. But I lay all of that out because otherwise I think Game Pass is there, but Xbox is really more concerned about what's happening beyond their own hardware because it's not growing. It's not growing. So I almost think like the price of the hardware matters a little bit less in the terms of the conversation I want to have, because while it is a bit of a sticker shock, literally nobody is buying Xbox hardware right now. It is on a steep decline, and they will absolutely be the first company to bow out completely out of the hardware race as far as I'm concerned. Now, the reason I bring all this up is...
Gee, Maddie, what a brave opinion. When they themselves said that, yeah, this is happening.
Is because Xbox is doing bad in hardware, but they are doing really good in software since that multi-platform pivot. For example, you look at the PlayStation Store right now, the top 10 games in the United States, most of these are Xbox games. Oblivion at number 2, right behind Fortnite. Forza Horizon...
That's not good! That is not good! Because they could have had these Oblivion players on... You know what? Wait, isn't this the Xbox store? This doesn't look like the PlayStation store. This looks like the Xbox store. But whatever. If people are playing Oblivion Remaster on PlayStation, you know what that means? They could have instead be playing it on Xbox. Because you're not getting full fucking revenue from all the stuff bought on... You're losing money. Because people are playing it on PlayStation. At this point, still.
5 at number 3. Call of Duty is right there. And then Minecraft is in the number 10 slot, thanks to, I imagine, the push the movie gave it. So, Xbox has 4 games in the top 10 best-selling games on PlayStation. And they also...
So what? They probably don't even get a 50% commission from the sale.
Reported with their Q3 earnings results that they were a top publisher in the industry. And it's showing. They're selling a lot of games. And in the mix here is also Indiana Jones.
Okay, listen, you need to understand, a top publisher in the industry, while you're owned by Microsoft, a company that literally prints out more fucking money a day than the goddamn American Federal Reserve, which is, by the way, not federal and a privately owned organization that does not behested to the American people, if you just want to have a little bit of fun with that. Yeah, Microsoft bought a lot of really, really popular games. They literally bought some of the most popular games ever made. Call of Duty. Ring any bells? Minecraft. Ring any more bells? Yeah, they bought these things. So naturally, they are a top publisher because they physically own all of the companies that make make the top games at this point. That's it.
which just came out on PlayStation 5 and is sadly getting buried. That is like one of the best games Xbox has published, and it's just like between that and Hi-Fi Rush, it bugs me to no end. I'm like, dude, like why are people the good stuff Xbox does publish is like right there. Please play it. Xboxes are manufactured in China, and right now there is a 145% tariff on that stuff. So, yeah.
Fun fact about the Chinese tariffs. Literally nothing the US cares about has gotten a tariff on it from China, okay? So that means hardware is... I haven't checked, but my assumption would be hardware is probably amongst the non-affected things. Yes, there exists a tariff on everything China currently that no one cares about. Yeah, everything that actually people care about doesn't have a tariff on it, which is hilarious. 10 out of 10. It's just giant boasting.
Like these prices were going to jump anyway. There was just a no doubter about all of that. But I feel like it's less important because most people are buying Xbox games, not hardware. And I think Xbox is trying to use the kind of hardware conversation as a way to really cover for the $80 games that they want, because now's an opportunity for them to really collect. Now, to be completely honest, as someone who reviews every major first-party release from Xbox, there's only one game this generation I would have paid $80 for, and it was Indiana Jones. Absolutely, I would have paid $80 for that. That was a top 3 game last year.
Jesus, Indiana Jones was absolute disaster, okay? Indiana Jones, Great Circle, Team DB. Let's look at how successful Indiana Jones was, okay? Sharing screen, wait a little bit. Okay. There we go. That's how successful Indiana Jones is. Currently a whopping 311 players. Everyone give a round of applause for modern game audiences, the game, and a whopping 12k players. Peak. Okay? And again, it didn't do anything good on Xbox. It's absolutely pitiful. It did not achieve anything. It is what it is. Okay, Indiana Jones was a disaster. If this thing cost $80, you probably would not be even played by 5 people. The marketing for this game was also atrocious, because you literally had purple-haired losers coming out and saying, "We made this game for modern audiences." And turns out this game actually was not made for modern audiences at all. Now, granted, it's literally like a poor man's attempt at recreating Dishonored 1, and a lot more versed than it. But the game was not actually woke. Believe it or not, it was not woke. Okay, the women characters were not atrocious. They were likable. They were nice. They did not call Indy a complete moron all the time. They did not put him down to lift themselves up. They did none of that. They were likable characters, and so was he. Okay. But again, well, if you're gonna come out and say this game is made for modern audiences, you better believe that most people are not gonna buy your game.
Here, and just like one of my favorite licensed games, it was absolutely awesome. Otherwise, though, like everything they've put out this generation, Hi-Fi Rush, it's an amazing game. $80. I don't think it was an $80 game, like a $60 game. Sure, but $80, I don't know. But when I look at games I have reviewed from them, say a full price game, I'm not going to throw like South of Midnight in the conversation or Hellblade. We'll have to tackle that as we go along the generation. But when I look at something like Avowed, right?
Hellblade Senua's Saga was also, by the way, an absolute disaster. It wasn't even a game. You barely did anything in that game.
Right? Avowed, to me, like I was so
Avowed is boring trash that died in 2 days.
disappointed with that. And I'm like, that has been kind of a mark of some of the quality of Xbox's publishing over the last couple of years. It's like this low 80s open critic game. It's like, for like first party, you should be putting out the best the industry has to offer. And if you're moving up to $80, the consumer expectations need to rise with that. Because I say this.
They did, by the way, if you're looking at this and you're thinking, this is not that bad. Yeah, combat is pretty decent. Pretty decent. Until the point that you figured out, wait a minute. The things that you decided to do and use in the first 3 seconds of the game are the things that you are using without any meaningful change for the rest of the game. And combat's a slug in a lot of situations. It's just slog, it's spongy.
Just for myself, $80 games are insane. Insane. There's only
And that is, by the way, really sad because initially, Avowed got announced, I was like, "Holy shit! This has so much potential." But then they did a bait and switch. The initial Avowed trailers and everything looked so much different. They looked darker, and Avowed turned out to be this absolute fucking spurg fiesta.
only a few games I would make that exception for. And if Xbox wants to go for it, then Fable better be a Game of the Year contender. Outer Worlds 2 better not just be like, oh, more Outer Worlds. Like, it better be more than that. Like, that is the expectation that comes with this price jump. Just because they say at the front of everything, oh, well, ballooning game budgets are happening. I'm sorry, but that video I just made yesterday about gaming and Expedition 33 and budgeting and clear vision, and it's a team of 30-ish people. Like, that is such an exposure
Yeah, Expedition 33 was a good game.
of the games industry's narrative that, like, oh, this wasn't possible.
But again, all of the greatest games currently, like think of your top 3 games that you have played this year or maybe even the last year. What is it gonna be? Well, it's probably Black Myth Wukong, Baldur's Gate 3, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. All effectively, well, you can't really call them indie titles, but they're not triple A truly. Okay, Clair Obscur is definitely an indie title. That bad boy cost $5.5 million to make. Yes, I initially thought that's probably like 50 or 30 million minimum to make, right? But no, Clair Obscur was 5.5 mil to make. Insane.
Possible? Yes, it is. You just got to budget accordingly. You got to manage accordingly. But I look at, I'm sorry, I got to single out. I look at projects like South of Midnight, which I played to completion, and when that game's narrative was inconclusive and it spent so much time.
Oh, Matty, what are you saying now? South of Midnight bad? But we watched your review. In the review, South of Midnight was good. The story's bad, but you liked it. The combat is boring, but it's good enough. The game is short, so buy it because it's short. That was your review, Matty, and now you're just calling it bad? What do you mean? Are you a shill?
I'm meandering for a 10-hour game, and it was like a 6-7 year development cycle. I'm like, a lot of these companies just take Xbox for a complete ride from my point of view. I'm sorry, but they do. They're Hellblade taking as
I mean, yes. Xbox are idiots.
long as it did. I'm just like, dude, that was a part of the Xbox Series X announcement, and it comes out and I beat it in like a day? It was that short? I mean, this is what's going to happen. These are the conversations that are going to happen because you're going to $80. And when you have some of the best stuff the industry put out last week, and Xbox was publishing one of them in Oblivion Remastered at $50, it's just such an uphill.
Xbox didn't actually do this, okay? It was a remaster. Granted, Xbox probably said, hey, you are remastering this game, Todd? And Todd was like crying and saying, no, we're losers. We can't do anything properly. And Xbox said, yeah, so here's this rando company that's going to do it, and you're going to have nothing to do with it. And then Todd made a hissy fit and said, no, we're at least adding body type A and body type B. That's what players hated the most. The only thing that Bethesda put in the remaster was the most hated thing ever, okay? And this game proved that Bethesda, modern day Bethesda, is literal trash, okay? But again, this does not make Xbox look good. It's a remaster of a game that we know is a success. That we know that people liked. This doesn't make... This literally proves nothing about Xbox being good or honestly even bad for the most part.
Battle to try to push this price point. So there's that angle. Next gen consoles. Xbox's handheld that leaked that's apparently coming this year. Oh boy, they were reportedly in a good price point, I thought. But now, because of the tariffs and everything, I think that sucker is going to jump and become that kind of ROG Ally price point where like the enthusiast will buy it. It'll sell a couple 100,000 units and that's it. Again, if you're looking at the Series X Galaxy.
Okay, do we even care about anything else? Xbox is dying. That's kind of the message. Anyway, that was Mr. Manny Plays. 10 out of 10. Bye.